This is In the Final Analysis. I'm Jim Yockey.
Welcome to the In the Final Analysis podcast. This is your host, Jim Yockey, and I am the Media Support Manager, Kylie Yockey. Welcome to episode 6 of In the Final Analysis, our first of 2025. Happy New Year. Today, we want to get into a little bit about how we decide what content to share with you all and what we think that you want to know about and how you can let us know what you want to know about. So, Jim, how do we decide what topics we think people need to hear about?
Well, there are several things. Most likely, people want to understand current events. And so sometimes we pick topics based upon what's really going on, whether it's an election or downturn in interest rates or whatever it might be, that primarily is more difficult for someone to grasp the background information and how important it is or how not important it is, depending on your perspective. But investing is it's an interesting place to reside. And there's so much knowledge that you need to have to be really effective at it. And most people just don't want to spend the time to dig in and say, oh, well, I want to really understand whatever it is. Like the Federal Reserve, for example, what do they really do? And the value of all the central bankers around the world, including the Federal Reserve. The simple answer to that for us, for most people, is they control the flow of money in and out of the economy. It's sort of like your car. If you want to go faster, you put your foot on the accelerator and push down. So you give it more gas. And then if you want to slow things down, you take your foot off the accelerator and things slow down. That's sort of what the Federal Reserve, one of the fundamental things that the Federal Reserve has, that it's important to keep a balance in our economy. And most people don't really know what the Federal Reserve does. It's not a part of the government. It is tied to the government, but it's owned by bankers in this country, as pretty much it is globally. But so it's situations like that where there's a deeper answer to whatever is going on that affects us almost on a daily basis. So that gives you a perspective on what we're looking for. Obviously, Kylie, you know, and many other people know that I've written a couple of financial books anyway, and we're working on another one too. So I'll reveal that one at the right moment in time.
I love that sneak peek there. And for anyone listening who wants to know a little bit more about the Federal Reserve, we do have a podcast episode on that in our In the Final Analysis podcast webpage on our website that you can go check out at any time. So that is clearly a topic that we have been asked about before, and that people that we know, our clients and other people in the business and in the industry and consumers in the industry, have questions about. So I wanted to ask you, Jim, what are our clients and other people asking about the most often? And why do you think that is? What do you think the missing link is between them and the information?
That's a very interesting question, because when clients are new to be clients, come and sit and talk with us, what they're trying to achieve, what we're all trying to achieve, is we want to grow our money, and we don't want to lose any money. So it's like we're looking for the perpetual money machine of the universe, and there's a lot of things that need to be considered before you start investing or choose someone to help you start investing or move from wherever you are. And those things, I've said this for a very long time. After 40, maybe 43 or 44 years, I've been in this business running mutual funds for 33, and then whatever. But the point is, that no one on my side of the desk can tell anyone how they should invest their money without knowing anything about them. What's your experience? What is it that you're trying to achieve? How do you view things? How do you make a decision on something that is right for you or not right for you? So the idea is becomes more deeply discussed when they come in. They come in wanting to make more money, and underneath that, I think the truth really is they're coming in to achieve more security, more confidence, more sleepful nights instead of sleepless nights, because investing is very complicated and it moves fast. And we generally, most people don't take the time to investigate what all of the implications of those uncertainties that we face on a daily basis really are. And so by us getting to know each other, it allows me to peek into what they're really trying to do and help them get there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate that you take the kind of, this almost sounds a little too like marketing to say, but like the person first approach to working with clients and making sure that it's, you're not telling them, oh, here is a strategy that works. It's, here's a strategy that could work for you.
Yeah. We being in the business for such a long time, the the whole industry has evolved and it's become more person centric. We're a little bit different wisdom because when I created wisdom 16 years ago, I really wanted to get into the life of a family in order to help them. So it's not just a one time come in and we'll put your money to work. It's come in and we'll talk about what's next, what's down the road, how do you feel about this? You know, do we need to change that? So it's a continuum of gathering information for me to help them make good decisions. And I'm proud to say that we've accomplished a lot of that with almost every client, actually probably every client, because we get into the fabric of the family and we know really what's happening and when it happens. I'll give you an example. We had a serious incident for one of my clients, um, and it was severe. And the first phone call that I got from his sister was about 5:30 in the morning, alerting me that we had a concern. I was the first person, and the fact is that I mean it's it's representative of how much I care about people and how much they realize that I really do. You know, I'll you call me in the middle of the night, I'm going to answer the phone. I'm a 24/7 guy, and nobody really believes that until they try it. So,
Oh, well, that's very sweet, though. I'm sorry to hear that there's instances where there's had to be a middle of the night thing in people's lives. You know, life happens unexpectedly to everyone.
yes, it has worked out well for all the activities that we did after uh, worked out well for the family. So.
Okay. And so, whether it's in the middle of the night or not, what is most often, what are they calling you about? What do they want to know? Like, why are you their first call that they know that you're going to have the right
Yeah,
thing to tell them?
and I think there are two parts of that. One is that we go through life and life throws us curves all the time, uh, and all of that uncertainty builds up over time. You know, life is full of uncertainty, and it allows us to make decisions about how we react to that uncertainty. So oftentimes we're getting calls just to find out what's going on. Sometimes we're getting called because they're planning to retire or they have something happen. They want to gift something to their grandkids or their children. So it's hard to pin down one particular question that they always have, but at the bottom of any question that they're asking, they're looking for a solution. They're looking for suggestions for a solution. They're looking for an analytical viewpoint that is not emotionally charged about their question or the uncertainty that they're trying to, or there's sometimes it's certainty that they want to achieve. And it's not necessarily sometimes about just money. I said a long time ago, money's not magic. It's what you do with money that's magic, you know, and that's the truth. So what we have to do is burrow down and get to the whys and the hows of what we achieve, whatever it is that they want to achieve. So there's a very large range of questions that they come and talk to me about. A lot of that sometimes is just retirement or Social Security. When should I start taking my Social Security? Which is a complex question sometimes, but in the final result, final analysis, I guess.
There we go.
I have to just sit there and listen to them and find out what it is that they want the outcome to look like, and then try to remove some of the uncertainty to get there.
Awesome. Well, I would love to know if there's any standouts in your memory of like favorite types of questions that you get asked, or things that, they come with you with either a problem or a challenge or just a query. And you're like, oh yes, I would love to explain this and figure this out with you.
Oh my. Um, Sometimes clients have businesses and they want to sell them. So we can really get deep into that. Or a family is going to, it's like a magic moment when you get into, 50 or 55 or something like that. All of a sudden you have a whole lot of other questions about whether or not you're going to be able to live comfortably for the rest of your life. So those are creating trust for them, a living trust, for example, because they want to. They're afraid that their sons or daughters have married the wrong people, so they want to make sure that they solve any aberrant issues with regard to the future of that family and the protection of their son or daughter. And so oftentimes, or interestingly enough too, for the younger ones and even into grandkids, the questions of making decisions about education. Where do we go? Can we afford this? How do we navigate all of it? How do we take care of the living expenses? What should we really be responsible for, and how should we make our kids work a little harder in order to achieve what is going to be good for them down the road? Interesting too, those I have a lot of college professors, and so we get into all kinds of questions about students, and then later when their student has gotten a PhD and has become a professor, they still ask a lot of questions of the previous professor, complex issues, mainly about money, because they don't want to have to worry about money. They don't want to have to think about money. And so when they start getting on the plans that the university has for them, they often want to avoid making mistakes. So they usually talk to the previous professor. So I have professors all over the country, and they all came from just a few professors. It's like amazing because as a matter of fact, I have one professor who she's been a foreign correspondent, particularly she has some absolutely magnificent stories about things that have happened to her universally in her job as a reporter and photographic way too. She's amazing. So it's fun to really get to know them at a deeper level. Um, it'd be hard to just pick one, but they're all over the place. Everybody that comes in here, they have a story to tell. I just need to understand what that story means to them going forward.
Yeah. And how you can help them write the rest.
That's it.
All right, that's amazing. And I do want to quickly let all of our listeners know that we actually do have white papers specifically targeted towards educators and small business owners to help them with their specific situations of their financial journey, as well as other resources about just special circumstances in life and different family dynamics and things that can happen throughout, the lifespan of a family or an individual. And you can find all of those in our financial intelligence tab on our website, as well as other white papers about participation and protection, uncertainty, how investing has changed and why it may be changed quite permanently as we head into this heading into our second quarter of the century, which is insane.
Really.
I know. I mean, between the technological advancements of the last 25 years and the proliferation of the internet and how that has not only changed the global economies, the practice of investing in financial investment, but also how we're able to interact with clients and audiences like a podcast just like this and be able to try to share as much information as we can so that everyone can feel a little more secure in their financial decision making.
That would be a good accomplishment right there. You know, I guess, and I don't know how much time we have left, but the reality is that investing is important, not so much on a timing basis, but a time basis. And your
Right.
investment profile, the decisions you make about your money, coincide with the events in your life. But the same thing too is planning is important. And you with investing, you can be flexible and you can be considerate on your current situations. But life changes, and so time with your investments is more important than the timing of them most of the time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jim, for explaining all of that. We are out of time for today, but please join us in our next episode where we are going to talk a little bit deeper into the concept of uncertainty and how that affects your financial decision making and the factors that can make all of that feel a little like you need help from people like us. And again, you can find more information about what we do, why we do it, and our wealth of resources on our website at wisdomchoice.net. You can also sign up for our newsletter through our website. We send out newsletters with information about what's going on every month in the economy, as well as other special topics about once every 2 weeks. So we won't blow up your email, we promise, but maybe let us in. And you can also give us a call anytime if you have further questions that are specific to your situation and want to talk about them with a professional.
We try to keep you informed.
Thank you so much for listening.
Be sure that you're on the email
have a good
list and call us if you have any questions whatsoever. Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professionals before making important investment decisions. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a registered broker-dealer, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Wisdom Financial Management, LLC are not affiliated.